Let's do a little flambe action. Matter of fact, it might be the best steak we've ever made on the Blackstone. Let's go. To get the party started, we have some absolute stud muffin strips. These are prime grade. I was actually able to find them on quite a bit of sale. And anytime that happens, I get pretty excited. So the idea is a whiskey steak. Pick whatever steak you want to. I would think that a thicker steak would benefit you because you are going to flambe this on the griddle. So all that moisture and steam can actually fast track the cooking process. So you might want a little bit thicker cut steak. This might be a little bit aggressive, but we're going to be all right with it. So I'm going to salt brine these overnight because I really want a fantastic sear patch on these. So Diamond Crystal Kosher salt. You guys know the drill. And you're just going to look to salt all the way around, or you don't have to do this at all. You guys hear a lot of banging and clanging. It's roof season. So we had a massive storm come through about 4 months ago, and they're just now catching up with all the roofs. Luckily, knock on wood, our roof's fine. After the salt, I'm actually going to add some smash that. I know you guys love it on your burger. That's why we develop it. But if you think about all the notes that go in there, why we like it on burgers, theoretically, it should work really well on beef, and surprisingly, it does. I'm not going to go crazy with it. I'm gonna get this one knocked out too, the same exact way. It is the next day and I'm super excited. This has absolutely nothing to do with the video, but it does seem like when you go to a restaurant and you get like a whiskey steak, a lot of times it seems like it comes with onions and mushrooms. Let's make quick work of the onion. I am not looking for shoestrings, something with a little girth to it. And that's what our strips look like. Absolutely beautiful. Absorbed all that seasoning, looking good. I actually probably shouldn't even have to pat it dry. Pretty dry from absorbing all that stuff, so no need. If it was moisture on top or something like that, you probably want to take a paper towel, dry it off, because we definitely want a sear on these. Star of the show. Good old Jack. Okay, that's gonna be the flavor of the sauce, a little butter, keep it simple. Whiskey style strip steak. All right, we got the Blackstone rocking, and this side is on high. Then we got low and low. We're gonna need those zones. If you decide to cut off the fat of your strip, then you won't have this option. You'll need to throw some more fat down. I'm going to render the natural fat out of here. So skin or fat side down, and we're going to start rendering that out. Alrighty. So just warming that griddle up, getting that fat on there, and that's what you should look for right there. Okay? All right, the steaks are somewhat done. We're gonna move over here on the cooler side. So this is only 2211, right? I've got a very detailed video on how we like to do steaks on the griddle because there are a lot of different variations, right? The grater of your steak, the temperature of the steak when it comes out, the temperature of the ambiance when you cook it, the thickness of the steak, and then the different cuts of meat. So this is definitely still in the rare sage, so we're gonna put that over there. All that natural tallow is still over here. A little bit of Bella, a little bit of regular. Vegetables are cooking down. Just hit it with that salt, pepper, garlic, and butter. So that little cooling rack we had earlier, I do that a lot when I'm trying to sear something and it needs to stand up. You need something like whether it be the side of the griddle, whatever. It works just as fine, but I knew I was going to use it. So doing it like this almost gives it an oven effect. I know it sounds crazy, but as long as it sits on your griddle, that outside is going to continue to cook hard and hard. That's how you get those bands. We're just going to elevate it a little bit. That warmth from the griddle comes through. As our vegetables cook, we'll be able to make that sauce and put the steak back in it for the finish. So kind of look tips for tats. You know, I like to give you those tips and tricks along the way. Throw a little butter down. Just like hibachi vegetables, you don't want to cook these all the way through because they're going to still take some time to cook, especially when we add our sauce, our little Jack Daniels. All right, you ready? Little bed here, that's gonna be perfect. I don't know how much to add. A good amount. As that jack and butter reduces, look how I'm just tossing this steak back and forth. We're only about 110 degrees, which is perfect. And it's just coating in that sauce. My deck runs downhill, so me being able to bring my vegetables back and have that sauce come down is just absolutely perfect. Look at that crust. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying you guys have to go out there and spend the most money for the thickest cut of meat. Obviously, everybody's got a different thickness and depthness. What's it called when it comes to their wallet? Yeah, budget. These were on sale and they were a fantastic price. This is a good deal. So, looking good. Looking forward to this. You ready to try it?
Yeah.
All right.
Looks like it's cutting like butter.
Yeah, it's tender.
Boy, that looks perfect.
Not shabby at all. Here's a secret. Don't tell anyone. Ooh, that thing's hot. Got a little of that sauce left over on the vegetables. And there's that butter and Jack Daniels right over top of it. Now tell the truth, have you tasted this?
I have not tasted anything.
All right, I'll let you have the first bite.
I want the beef.
Well, that's why I gave you the, if you fill up on the vegetables, I get more steak. I bet the crowd will love that. I'm sure I'll get a comment.
A very subtle flavor. You get a very, very subtle whiskey flavor.
As much as I put in there,
Oh yeah, show them what's left.
just enough.
For a cocktail with dinner.
Just enough. Probably just a little bit more salt.
Yep. I agree.
One thing I don't want to hear, I can already hear it.
But
Too big for my mouth.
wow, that was a good piece of meat.
When you have a big thick steak like this, flipping often helps. Getting off the heat helps. You know, we have that little rack. Having two different zones, whether it be a 2-burner, 3-burner, as much as you can. It just calms the steak down while it finishes cooking, right? If you're cooking a steak, let's say my griddle 450 plus, you're searing it. If your griddle stays at 450 plus the whole time, the outside's just gonna like overcook before the inside's overcooked, right? So if you can imagine, let's say you start cooking your steak, right? Internal temperature really starts climbing up there because the heat is so high. Move it off to a lower part of the griddle that's calmer, not a lot of heat. Even though the steak still rises, the outside's not cooking as much, and you actually slow that graph down, and it's less chance to overcook it, and you can bring it up slowly, and that's really where it's at. Yeah. Good steak. That's seasoning.
That's good.
Woo! You don't taste it near as much. You need the sauce. Damn, that's a good bite. That sauce is keep it in here, and then use this as dippage. That'd be perfect. So there you go. Perfect addition to the new year. Everything's healthy. You got your vegetables, you got your steak.
Ignore that half stick of butter.
Or the jack. Find us on Instagram, find us on Facebook. There's a join button down below. It's a membership program. We thank each and every one of you for taking time for doing so. Last but not least, thanks for watching. Don't forget to press that subscribe button, pound the notification button, share with your friends. Peace.
Be happy with that.
Hell, I'm happy with it.